Okay, let's talk about calories. So normally when people hear about calories, they think about, too many calories makes you fat, right? And despite there being so much more information out there in terms of weight loss and fat loss, etc., there's one thing that does remain true, and the science behind fat loss is understanding the total number of calories that you need to be consuming each day. Yes, there is an actual figure for you, not just me, but you, to be consuming to understand when you will be either losing weight or building muscle. So let's talk about what the purpose of calories are and what calories truly are, rather than just something that we constantly obsess about. So calories are basically the fuel that we get from food that has turned it through our metabolism into the energy that we need to do basic human functions. Everything from our organs working, from blinking to walking to our brain function, our liver function, our digestive system, is all fueled by the calories that we consume, right? Do you understand that? That we need to consume a certain amount of calories in order for our bodies to function. So when we undereat, we are actually putting that function under a lot of stress and indeed a lot of harm. So when people think about calories, we think about diets, right? We think about counting our calories, not eating too many calories. If we eat too many calories, we get fat, cutting back on calories, all of these sorts of things, right? And maybe up until now, you've done diet plans or Slimming Worlds or Weight Watchers where they do count calories. But not all calories are created equal, and they're not all created in a way that's going to help fuel your body, okay? And we're going to talk about that in the next video. But what I really want to cover here is understanding that there is a unique calculation, which is the science behind all weight loss, which is your TD calculation. Your TD calculation is the total daily energy expenditure that you personally go through in terms of your calories that you need to hit for your body to perform all of those functions. Then we have what we call being in a calorie deficit and being in a calorie surplus, okay? So a calorie deficit is when you are consuming less than your TD calculation, which means that you're consuming less than what your body needs in order to create all of its functions, basically, okay? So this is what most diets get you to do over a long period of time. Now, the downside of that is that once your body has reduced its calories, after a little while, it actually acclimatizes to that amount of calories and will stop losing weight. It'll also start holding on to certain fat storage to make sure that you don't it's almost, they call it stalling or plateauing your weight loss. It's your body's way of holding on to the fat storage just in case we're not getting any more calories again soon, right? So it acclimatizes to that new level, but that means that you're going to have to then continue to cut and cut and cut. And the problem with that is that it eventually is going to have major impact on your metabolism, and that's why we have thyroid issues, and we also have issues with the functioning of our organs not working so well. I mean, it's really that important to understand how many calories you need to be consuming. But most women don't know that there is indeed a calculation, a black and white scientific calculator that you can do that works out that based on your own height and weight or body fat calculations, based on the activity that you do, etc. So we're using this calculator here on this page, which does require you to do an estimation of your body fat calculation to get this TD calculation. Now, the TD calculation is a guiding number. Now, this number is going to help you to make some decisions, but it's also going to help and further clarify why you need to sometimes be eating in a surplus and sometimes be eating in a deficit as part of your 7-day carb cycle. Here's the thing. Most programs will either have you in a deficit, a continual deficit where you're consuming less calories than your TD calculation. If you continue to do that for a long period of time, yes, you'll continue to lose some weight, but if you're in a serious deficit, it is going to impact, like we said, on your thyroid, on your energy levels. Food gives you energy to perform daily functions. So if you're not getting enough calories, you will be exhausted and tired. Your body will not recover so well. You'll be less likely to want to do workouts, etc. Versus your body being in surplus is what it needs to build muscle. You cannot build more of your muscle if your body's not in a surplus above your TD. Okay, so we use this calorie indicator, this TD calculation, to help to learn to manipulate your calories for the purpose of what we're trying to achieve. Yes, we are trying to achieve a certain amount of fat loss or weight loss, so there is a calorie deficit throughout your cycle, which will be achieved through your fasting days, and will be achieved if you're in different scenarios where we'll put you in more of a lose scenario, but also that we also maximize our feast days and additional calories to help boost your energy, to get you to do more workouts, to lift heavier weights and build more muscle. And your muscle and being stronger means that you have a higher base metabolic rate, which means that the more the calories that your body needs to consume on a resting level, the more you can then feed it, and then the more it can continue to lose weight at that level. Does that make sense? So you can only continue to diet so far and reduce the calories, which in essence is going to mess with your base metabolic rate, because there's only so far you can go down, right? Till you're like consuming 800 calories a day and you're not even hitting your base metabolic rate, which means your organs can start to shut down, your body can start to shut down, and you're not even achieving your goals, and you're miserable and you're tired and you look like crap, right? Versus sometimes when you need to eat in a surplus over and above that TD is to help you to build the muscle, give you energy, fuel your workouts, etc. Right? So what you're going to do as part of this page is simply to work out both your TD and your BMR calculations. Now, this might be a number later on that will become important, but at this point, it's just to give you information. It's just for you to know that this is a number that you really need to be eating, right? So if you're somebody who's used to a 1200 calorie diet, you're in for a shock, because your TD calculation for most women is in and around 2000. Right, as your baseline, and that 2000 is what you need to consume to make sure that you are getting enough energy. And if you're somebody who has chronic fatigue issues, if you have thyroid issues, if you have fibromyalgia and issues like that, it's generally because for decades up until now you have been under eating and causing your body harm. Okay, so it's going to take a while, and you might not be able to jump from 1200 straight up to 2000. We're going to give you a plan to do that, but it's important for you to have this information. It's scientific, it's proven, and it's the science behind weight loss and body shape change. Go ahead, do that calculation, get your 7-day carb cycle worksheet, which I have here ready, and you're going to start to put this into your worksheet so that you have that information at your fingertips as we work through this custom cycle plan. All right, so this custom cycle plan is going to help you to understand your calories, understand the importance of different types of calories and the macronutrient content of your calories. But this is the first stage in educating you in the science behind body shape change. So go ahead, calculate here. If you have any questions, go and ask in the Facebook group, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.